They're gonna come up here, you think? Like that. Yep. Boom. What is going on, everybody? This, of course, is Stark, and today I'm bringing you another champion build guide kind of tip video. Today we're going to be taking a look at Cassiopeia, the mid laner snake serpent, the Serpent's Embrace. She's considered one of the more difficult mid laners, an AP mage, but in my opinion, she's really fun. I've just actually grown to like her a lot more recently, and I'm going to be showing you kind of a little bit of an overview of how to build her and what you want to max and stuff like that. Now, again, this guide, just like my other ones, is going to be very new player based. So if you're already an experienced player, you know, gold, plat, higher, you probably already have a good idea and an understanding of this champion. But if you're looking to pay me pick her up and learn her, this might help you out. So we're going to get right into it. Again, she is an ability power mid laner mage, and she is one of the more difficult champions to master. We'll go right into her abilities and passive. Her passive is called the Aspect of the Serpent, and basically she gains stacks of ability power for every second that she is poisoning an enemy. So for every second that she uses one of her other abilities, her Q or her W, and she has an enemy poisoned, she's going to gain one stack. And now for every, there's like tiers for the stacks. So every 100 stacks you get an additional it's like 3% ability power, and then at 250, and then at 500. So you end up with like a ton of ability power. It's like ends up being 20-30%, which is freaking awesome. And so that's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to just basically spam your abilities, poison as many champions as you possibly can to get those stacks up. And we'll get into that part of the build in a little bit. So her Q, the Noxious Blast, basically, she blasts a small area of poison after a small delay that does poison the minions or the champions that it hits. Now, it's just kind of like Karthus's Q that does this basically the same thing, only this poisons and does a damage over time. Her W, her miasma, is basically a cloud of poison. It takes a little bit longer to throw down, but it covers a wider range and lasts longer. That also procs the poison. So if she throws that down and then an enemy walks through it, it will slow them afterwards. It's unlike the Q where it has to hit the champion to poison them. And then her E, her Twin Fang. Now this is the one that you want to focus on, and this is the one that you actually want to max. It's called the Twin Fang, and it actually has a long range attack on any enemy that's obviously in the area. But if the enemy is poisoned, you can basically just spam it. It lowers the cooldown to 0.5 seconds, and you can just spam the E as long as the minion or champion is poisoned. So it's a really, really good poke item. And so that's what you're going to want to max. You're going to want to max the E, then the Q, the W last, and obviously you upgrade the ultimate, the R, which, getting into that, the Petrifying Gaze, this is pretty sweet, actually. So you think of the Greek mythology Medusa. Whenever you looked at her, you turned into stone. It's basically that concept. If enemies are facing you and you pop the ult, it will actually stun them in place. If they're running away, it will actually slow them. So you can hit like a 5-man ult if they're all facing you, and they'd all just get like frozen in place, and you just spam all the rest of your stuff, and it's freaking sweet. So that's what her abilities do. Again, she's pretty tricky. You have to really kind of plan out what you're going to do as far as poisoning them and then throwing down the Twin Fangs. But if you can figure it out, because she isn't very mobile, you can just turn 1v3s or 1v2s and just turn ganks around in your favor. But going into the build, you definitely want to go Doran's 2 pots first, and then as soon as you possibly can, back for the tier, and you turn that tier into a Seraph's Embrace, or the Archangel Staff, and just spam your stuff, dude. You just spam the tier, get as many abilities off as you possibly can to get that stacked as fast as possible, and get that going, because that's really going to do a ton of damage. And then it also has that mana shield later whenever you get into a duel or a fight. And after you do get the tier, I get Sorcerer's Shoes. As far as that goes, you want the magic penetration. And then from there, it's kind of up to you how you want to do it, depending on who you're laning against and how their team is. But I normally go the Archangel Staff into Eluden's Echo because it's really strong on her, because she does get a movement speed buff every time she poisons an enemy of 20%, so that's huge. So I do throw that in there. You get the Archangel Staff, the Ludens, a Void Staff a lot because for the magic penetration, depending on, again, their team, and a Rabadon's, and a Zhonya's. The Zhonya's I normally like to get either second or third, right after the Luden's Echo or before, depending, again, team comp wise. You have to kind of have to go from there. But she's basically like a glass cannon. You want to be able to throw down as much possible damage. You pop that you spam all your stuff, you hit Zhonya's, wait for your cooldowns to come back up, and you basically just repeat that process. She's really fun. I hope you guys can take this and kind of run with it and basically put together your own build for it. But in my opinion, if you can master her, she's going to really, really help you out in climbing ladder, gaining elo, just because she's really, really tricky and really hard to play against late game. She's an extremely, extremely high damage late game. In the gameplay that you're watching, I ended up having like 1150 some AP by the end, like with Elixir and with my passive and all of that. So definitely a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. More video champion guides, tips coming your way as well. So yeah, until next time, I'm out.
My shield's almost up again. Ow, stop. Ow, stop. Wait, who died? Who just died?
Sibber.
Dude, unbelievable.